Now, for those of you that aren't aware, there's this big debate happening between whether we're getting Classic Plus or Wrath Anniversary first and then Classic Plus. With BlizzCon quite literally right around the corner, a lot of people are very uncertain about what the future really holds for the Classic player base and the community in general, right? And I want to really just break it down into like two segments here. The timeline where we get Classic Plus first, and the timeline where we get Wrath first into Classic Plus. So, Season of Discovery effectively ended development around April, May of last year, right? I know it died later on, but that's about when it ended. Which means, assuming they started development on Classic Plus during, let's just say, as soon as they ended SOD, so May 2025. May 2025, all the way to, in this context, September, would be just over about 15-ish months. 15 months is great. Oh god, we got a 10G tip. This is free. What a fucking legend. I appreciate that though. It takes about, give or take, 15 months of development from SOD to Classic Plus. In 15 months, can they make a good Classic Plus? And in my opinion, yes and no. At the launch of SOD, they had under 10 employees. By the end of SOD, they had 45 employees. The difference between the IKEA Meatball and Scarlet Enclave, right? IKEA Meatball, under 10 employees. Scarlet Enclave was about 25 employees. And at the end of Scarlet Enclave, they had 45 plus. So you see this entire situation where the Classic Dev team has grown. And they started Classic Plus effectively with the large amount of employees, so 45 people on the lower end. And that 45 employees in 15 months. Classic Plus is feasible. Assuming they stealth drop it right after BlizzCon, that would be 15 months. Say they do November instead. It's about 18-ish months if it's a November drop, give or take, right? The timeline, the math right there. From ending development of SOD to the launch of Classic Plus, that would be 18 months if it's a November 2026 release. If it's a May 2027 release, it's about a what does that come out to? Almost a 24-month, like almost a 2-year, give or take, timeline of developing Classic Plus. 2 years is plenty of time for an already built, already existing world. In my personal opinion, I don't think there needs to be more than that. So, we look at this and we see 24 months, phenomenal amount of time. Classic Plus should have cooked quite well. The game was already built. 50-something employees building a brand new expanded upon Classic Plus universe. That's realistic. That is solid. Until we get to the Wrath discussion of what if they need more time. That means September rolls around. They announce Wrath Anniversary and Classic Plus, but they say Classic Plus is launching at the end of Wrath. TBC Anniversary is going to roll about 13 months, same as Anniversary Classic, which means TBC launches February 5th, so we can expect about March 2027 for Wrath Anniversary to drop, give or take, assuming TBC is still 13-ish months. And then Wrath Anniversary would be 13 months. So that means we would get Classic Plus around April, May of 2028. And that is a ludicrous amount of time. A ludicrous amount of time. So, if it does go the Wrath time frame, like the Wrath route, we have to go from like all of Wrath. A 2028 release means Classic Plus is launching around Guild Wars 3, the Riot MMO, any other potential MMO that's been done in development but nobody's talking about right now. Because, a lot of companies don't really announce games until they're 6 months or 12 months out from release. So they could genuinely onto the issue of Classic Plus could come out after the last Titan ends. Because Midnight WoW is going to end based on the 18-month time frame at the end of 2027. Which means the last Titan is launching very, very late 2027, very early 2028. So we're going to have the last Titan which could be a phenomenal expansion and means the player base could just end up going to another MMO or back to retail WoW, assuming retail WoW becomes like a bigger and better game, because they've been talking about WoW 2.0 for retail for a long time. And so we look at all this and we realize that Classic Plus being a 2028 release post Wrath Annie is honestly fucking stupid. I do believe we are helping Blizzard by at least letting them launch Wrath Annie and Classic Plus at the same time. But like, I think the community should riot and say fuck Wrath. I think they should genuinely riot and say fuck Wrath. But they're not, no one's gonna say that. People are gonna, like, you know, the loudest minority are always going to be the loudest minority. Like, for example, the people who on Era who are complaining about Stormrend, 90+% of Era wanted Stormrend. But the 10% that complained and bitched and moaned till it got removed, those people are gonna be the loudest. So the people screaming and crying and begging for Wrath Annie, despite Wrath being a good game mode, would genuinely hurt Sol in the long run if they delayed hurt Classic Plus in the long run if they delayed Classic Plus, so we could get a whole year of Wrath Annie. And I think a whole year of Wrath Annie is fucking terrible. I think it's genuinely terrible. I do think we will get Wrath Annie. I gotta keep it real. I 100 billion% think we're getting Wrath Annie. In no universe are we not getting Wrath Annie. I just don't want them to drop Wrath Annie. Definitely has nothing to do with Wrath being the most popular version of the game twice now. I'm not I'm not saying that Wrath Annie is going to be a bad game mode. I'm saying that Wrath Annie launching for a full year into Classic Plus could genuinely hurt Classic Plus Wrath. I think Wrath is a very popular, very successful game mode. But if they're going to delay Classic Plus for Wrath Annie, I think it's going to be a genuinely bad experience, a genuinely bad situation for the Classic Plus player base. That's the clear-cut message I'm trying to send here. I think Classic Plus is more important than Wrath Anniversary. I think they should drop Wrath Annie. I think they should announce Wrath Annie. Honestly, you know what? Let it drop. Let Wrath Annie be a legitimate thing. I don't have anything against Wrath Annie. Wrath Anniversary dropping is perfectly okay by me. I just don't think it should delay Classic Plus for Wrath Annie. And in my opinion, I stand on that hill. Wrath Annie will be very popular. For fucking sure it's going to be very popular. But do you guys truly believe a Wrath Anniversary without GDKP, without all the things that made Wrath Classic popular, is going to make Wrath Annie popular? Like, yes, an extra year would be amazing for Classic Plus development. But they can launch Classic Plus. They've had 2 years to develop it. 2 years of development is a lot of time, because then they can spend 2 years developing new content while Classic Plus is live. Will it be more popular than Vanilla Annie or TBC Annie? Sure. I think the only timeline where we get Wrath Annie into a delayed Classic Plus is the timeline where Classic Plus is not ready. If Classic Plus is ready, if Classic Plus is ready to rip, ready to drop, we are not getting Wrath Annie delay for Classic Plus. We are getting a Wrath Anniversary drop into 6 months or 3 months later, a Classic Plus drop. That's my personal opinion. That is 100% my personal opinion, and that's all I can really say about the topic and the situation. Thank you for the 7 stream watch streak. Wrath Annie will be ass. It'll be popular bullshit, but it will be popular. Regardless of what anybody in my chat says, what anybody in the community says, Wrath Annie will be popular. I just don't give a shit. For the Wrath crowd, I'm happy for you guys. But not at the expense of Classic Plus being a whole fucking year late. That is something I am no bueno for. Fuck that. Do not delay Classic Plus unless you absolutely fucking need to. Unless you 100% need to delay Classic Plus to make Classic Plus good. Drop Wrath Annie and then drop Classic Plus. Because Wrath Annie, no matter what, is irrelevant to the future of the Classic franchise. It's irrelevant to the 45 plus devs that are excited about, that are working on the future Classic.